What if DJI just built an avatar that finally bridges the gap between cinema rigs and freestyle madness? Today we're unpacking the Avata 3 leaks and why this could be the FPV drone that matters to both pros and weekend creators. I'll take you from the design changes and that rumored 1-inch sensor to the claimed top speed, transmission upgrades, and the awkward regulatory questions that could slow its rollout in some countries. Stick around. The part about the sensor and reframing is the detail that actually decides whether this is a creative tool or just another fast toy. To understand the hype, remember what the original Avata did. It popularized a ducted, cine-style FPV that balanced control with smooth cinematic footage. The Avata 2 refined that formula, making stability and accessibility better, but not revolutionary. The Avata 3 looks like the model where DJI might finally stop iterating and start leaping. Historically, DJI holds its boldest changes for later generations, and the rumors we're seeing fit that pattern: a more serious camera, rearranged internals, and a clearer push toward professional use. Leaks indicate a larger camera housing to fit a true 1-inch CMOS sensor. That is a huge jump from the tiny chips in previous models. A bigger sensor will mean better low light, wider dynamic range, and cleaner color for grading. DJI apparently chose a square or larger sensor layout, which gives more room for stabilization and reframing in post. The bright orange bumpers are reportedly gone in favor of a sleeker aesthetic, and battery placement has moved to the rear to improve balance. 4-blade props replace the old 3-blade setup for stronger thrust and finer control during tight maneuvers. Rumors peg top speed near 140 km/h, which is race-class velocity in a ready-to-fly package. Flight times are expected around 23 to 25 minutes per battery, which is solid for FPV performance. Transmission upgrades to DJI's latest protocol could push low-latency feeds to double-digit kilometer ranges under the right rules, paired with goggles that reduce motion sickness and increase immersion. If true, this is the combo that lets solo creators chase cinematic action without losing real-time control. DJI's software is likely to get a serious upgrade too. Expect enhanced subject tracking, improved obstacle awareness in low light, and smarter fail-safes. ActiveTrack 6.0 could let the Avata 3 follow subjects with sin-level accuracy while pilots nail complex moves. That said, full autonomy in cluttered scenes is still wishful thinking. The real win is tighter integration between AI-assisted tracking, rock-steady stabilization, and horizon leveling, which together reduce the number of takes you need to get a usable clip. Availability may not be global day one. Regulatory scrutiny, national security reviews, and certification delays have affected drone launches lately. Even with a fantastic product, DJI could face restricted distribution or delayed marketing in certain regions. If you live in markets with strict import or certification rules, expect staggered launches and limited stock at first. That is not a knock on the hardware, but a practical reality buyers should consider. If the Avata 3 hits these marks, it will be the most compelling commercial FPV drone DJI has made. Blending speed, cinematic image quality, and smarter tools for creators, pilots focused on pro content, solo filmmakers, and action sports shooters should be excited. If you primarily race or need open modding, a custom rig may still be better. For everyone else, this looks like the drone that could let you shoot faster, edit less, and create higher quality footage from tighter spaces. Which rumor excites you most? The 1-inch sensor, the top speed, or the new tracking tech? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What if DJI just quietly made the Pocket truly pocketable again? Today we're unpacking the Pocket 4 leaks and chassis shots to figure out what actually changed, what matters, and whether this is the compact vlogging upgrade you should care about. I'll cover the new body and buttons, the screen and control quirks, the likely camera and zoom improvements, battery and audio changes, and whether the Pocket 4 still beats Insta and GoPro for storytellers on the move. Stick around. The little mystery about those extra buttons is the part that tells you what DJI is trying to fix. Put the Pocket 4 next to the Pocket 3 and the DNA is obvious. But DJI didn't just iterate, they refined. The new chassis is slightly taller, noticeably slimmer, and drops down to roughly 116 grams from the Pocket 3's 179 grams. That weight cut is huge for handheld shooting and travel packing. The curious part is the extra buttons on the front. 2 more physical buttons may sound trivial, but think about what they could be. Dedicated zoom control, quick custom shortcuts, or instant mode switches. If DJI gives us tactile zoom steps instead of the clumsy digital pinch, that solves one of the Pocket 3's biggest usability complaints. Later, we'll talk about how those buttons might change vlog workflows. The display cutout appears unchanged, so expect the same rotatable 2-inch rear screen that made the series popular. That screen is the Pocket's secret weapon for selfie framing and quick monitoring. Oddly, the new front buttons slide under the panel in vertical mode, which raises questions about ergonomics and control mapping. Will DJI remap those buttons when you flip to portrait, or are they landscape-only features? Either way, the familiar grip shape remains, but the slimmer profile and lighter weight should make long handheld sessions less tiring. Trust me, when you're shooting all day, 100 grams feels like a world of difference. Leaks don't show the sensor yet, but industry chatter points to improved crop zoom and smarter processing rather than a bigger sensor. If DJI keeps a 1-inch sensor and refines the optical path and the digital zoom, we could get cleaner telephoto shots without the usual artifacting. There are whispers of 2 variants, a base skinny model and a pro model with a second lens and larger battery. That would make sense. One for casual vloggers who value size and price, another for creators who need extra reach and runtime. Pair better zoom with the Pocket Gimbal's natural motion, and DJI still owns a unique space that neither GoPro nor Insta easily replicate. A lighter body often means smarter power management, and the leaks suggest battery life improvements that could push usable shooting times substantially higher. Rumors hint at something in the multiple hours range for light use, which would make the Pocket 4 genuinely usable for day outings and travel vlogs. Another common Pocket 3 gripe was mic performance. On the Pocket 4, we're hearing about better built-in mic support and improved wind handling. If DJI nails onboard audio and gives clearer battery endurance, the Pocket 4 becomes a more complete solution for creators who do not want to carry extra mics and batteries. Price talk lands around $700 to $800, which is not cheap, but it is squarely between smartphone video and a full kit camera. If DJI delivers meaningful upgrades in control, zoom quality, low light, and audio, the cost is reasonable for creators who value convenience, gimbal stabilization, and fast outputs. Compared to Insta's modular approach and GoPro's action focus, the Pocket line still wins for natural cinematic handheld motion and one-handed storytelling. So, is it worth the upgrade? If you value better zoom control, lighter carry, and cleaner audio out of the box, yes, especially if the Pro variant appears. If you only want one feature, which would you pick? Zoom, low light, or log recording? Production looks real, the chassis is real, and the direction is clear. Smaller, smarter, more usable. Tell me which Pocket 4 rumor you want confirmed first. Physical zoom control, a second lens, or longer battery life? Drop it in the comments. If this helped, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you do not miss the spec deep dive when DJI finally announces it.